to meet you all in this new session. Today we are with the continuation with the parts of speech. Already I have explained the nouns, the pronouns. Now we come to the verbs. Okay, verbs. Verbs, as I told you earlier, verbs are action words. Then verbs not only tell about an action, they also tell about the state of being, I said. Now let me get into it. Okay, so now if I say, I am teaching. Here what is the action being done? Teaching is the action. Okay, now am. What is this am doing? I am teaching. Okay, so teaching is the main verb here. It tells the action which I am doing. What is this am then? This am is the auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is otherwise called as helping verb. And what is the action of this auxiliary verb is, it tells about the tense in which it is happening. Tense means time. When the action is happening, this auxiliary verb gives us an idea. Okay, so I am teaching. Am is present tense. That means now it is happening. Okay, so auxiliary verb is the one which tells about the tense, right? And then if I say, she cooks food. Now what is the action word here? Cooks is the action word. Okay, this cooks is nothing but the combination of does plus cook. Okay, cook is a verb root. Cook is a verb. And what's getting added? Yes is getting added. Where did this yes come from? Yes is from the auxiliary verb does. The does gets mixed with cook to make cooks. Okay, she cooks food. That means she does cook food. Okay, so this is what the splitting of the main verb into auxiliary. Here you have the auxiliary verb clearly given. In that case you don't split and see. When there is only main verb given, then we need to understand the auxiliary verb which is infused into it. This is one is main verb, this is auxiliary verb. Not only main verb, auxiliary verb. We have many other types of verbs also. We have transitive verb. Transitive verb. What do you mean by transitive verb? Transitive verb means the effect of the action falls on the object. Effect of the action means I teach English. Now the effect of the verb teach falls on English. This is transitive. The verb is affecting the object. Okay, that means without the object, the sentence remains incomplete. Okay, such verb is called such verb is called a transitive verb. Whereas sometimes the verb doesn't have any effect on the object. Such verbs are called intransitive verbs. Intransitive means without the object also, the sentence is complete. For example, if I say, I slept early. Even if I remove the early, I slept. The sleep doesn't have any effect on the object. Yeah, early doesn't matter much to the sleep, and the sleep is not affecting the early. Whereas I teach English, if I say only I teach, what do I teach? This remains a question. Whereas if I say I slept, there is no question at all. Yeah, so here the effect of the verb falls on the object. Such a verb is called a transitive verb. Okay, intransitive means the effect of the verb does not fall on the object. Why this transitive, intransitive I am telling you is, only for transitive verbs we can make the passive voice, active passive voice. I will be telling you in the next videos. In the active voice and passive voice, we can make the passive voice only for the transitive verbs. That is, if I say, I ate a mango. For this I can make the passive voice, a mango was eaten by me. Whereas if I say I slept early, can I make a passive voice for this? No, not at all, because sleep is an intransitive verb. Okay, now if I say birds fly in the sky. Here, birds fly in the sky fly is an intransitive verb. For this also you cannot make a passive voice. Okay, so you need to be aware that passive voice can be made only for transitive verbs where the effect of the verb falls on the object. Yeah. Apart from this, we have other verbs also. Regular verbs. Regular verbs means when you use D or ED, when you attach D or ED to the verb, it becomes past tense. Okay, that means if I say play, past tense of play is played. P-L-A-Y, play, and I am adding ED, played. Okay, if I say dance, what's the past tense? Danced. So I am adding D to dance, ED to play. So these are regular verbs wherein D or ED is added to change them into past tense. Such verbs are called as regular verbs. Okay. Whereas irregular verbs means those which change completely. For example, go. Go. Will you say good? No. We say go, past tense is went. Go, went, gone. Here there is a complete change. We are not using D or ED to change it into past tense. Such verbs are called as irregular verbs. Okay. Not only this, we have phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs you might have heard. Phrasal verbs means the verb attached with the preposition. Yeah, phrasal verbs. Yeah, of course there is no inflection in the verb here. Why I am getting into picture the phrasal verbs is you need to understand how to use the phrasal verb in the continuous tense and in the past tense. If I say I came across a book or I got through the exam. Yeah, here if you see get through is the phrasal verb. Get through means to pass. Okay, get through is the phrasal verb. And whenever we are making the change in the tense affects the verb. Get through changes to got through. Yeah. Then if I say the dress wore out. Wear out means to be old, to be torn. Okay, worn out, wear out. Yeah, and sometimes we see children using the ing form to the switch oning the fan. That is wrong. You should say switching on the fan. Yeah, the ing form may be, the past tense may be, that gets attached to the verb, not to the preposition. This we should keep it in the mind. Okay, right. Phrasal verbs, and apart from that you have finite verbs. Finite verbs means these finite verbs change according to the tense, or if the finite verb is used in the sentence, we get to know the tense at what time the action occurred. Such are called as finite verbs. And then if I say I heard a noise. Here I heard a noise. Heard is past tense. So we have an idea that this action happened in the past. Okay. Whereas to hear a noise is strange. If this is a sentence, to hear a noise at this time is strange. To hear, here there is no tense. If I say to hear a noise was strange, that is past tense. To hear a noise will be strange, that will be future tense. To hear a noise is strange is present tense. So there is no tense in to hear. Okay, the rest of the sentence decides what tense it will be in. Whereas if you see I heard, here the heard itself tense tells us that the action has already occurred. So this is a finite verb. This is a non-finite verb. Non-finite means it doesn't tell about the tense. Yeah, you can also say having finished his work, he went out. Having finished his work doesn't tell which tense. If I say having finished his work, he will go out. That will be future tense. Having finished his work, he went out. That is past tense. Having finished his work, he is relaxing. This comes in present tense. So, the part of that sentence containing the verb doesn't tell when it occurred. That is a non-finite verb. Next is we have one more thing called the modal verb. Modal verb are words like can, may, must, should, shall, will, would. Okay, so what is the speciality of the modal verbs is you use only V1 beside them. Can, come. Yeah, suppose you want to change this into past tense, you make the can into could. Could come. But the come, the V1 form remains V1 only. This is a modal verb wherein only V1 form is used beside the modal verb. If any change of tense has to happen, it happens with the modal verb. But the V1 form remains the same. Such verbs are called as modal verbs. Okay, generally they are used for obligation, some permission. Such ways we use the modal verbs. Okay, and then here coming to the auxiliary verbs, they tell about the tenses. These are the first one. So one is second one, I can tell that the main verbs. Main verbs are the action verbs. Okay. Third one, we can tell the transitive verb, where the effect of the verb falls on the object. These transitive verbs only can be converted into passive voice. Intransitive, no effect of verb on the object. Okay. Then the next one I have told is regular verbs. Regular verbs are those which get D or ED added to get into past tense. Okay. The next one is irregular verb, where there is a complete change. The seventh one, phrasal verbs. I have told you about the tenses getting varied with the attachment to the verb, not to the preposition. Then the finite verbs. Finite verbs tell about the tense. Okay. When it happened. This non-finite do not tell about the tense. Okay. Then the modal verbs. Modal verbs, we get to know that only V1 form is used beside it. In the next video, for the verb only, I will make the continuation about the auxiliary verbs in detail. How to split the auxiliary verbs. Simultaneously, I will teach you how to make the yes or no questions. I hope this session was useful to you to have a glimpse about the verbs. Thank you for watching and have a great day ahead. Please do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Do click the like button and keep enjoying watching our videos and keep following us for more videos on grammar concepts. If you need any video on any of the grammar concepts, please text to me in the comment section. I'll be very glad to prepare them. Thank you once again.